All right, so I just recorded this entire video with the wrong microphone setting, so it sounded like ass, so I get to re-record the entire thing. What's up guys, I'm Amanda the Jedi here, and today we're gonna be talking about Deadpool 2. This is gonna be one of those 2-in-1 reviews, I'm pretty sure, where the first half is the spoiler-free, second half we get into spoilers. Kind of in between there, I'll talk about some of the cameos that were in the movie that some people might wanna know about but don't wanna know deeper context, so I'll kind of stick that in between. So if you've seen the first Deadpool, I'm pretty sure you know what to expect from this style of movie. The first one was just off the walls, crazy, just very unique in the movie spirit in general. Like, yes, we've had characters break fourth walls before, but never to the extent of Deadpool. We've never had characters making fun of every other IP, every other property, as well as Fox movies, as well as other related movies that are literally made by the same studios in the way that Deadpool has. Like, it never happens, and I'm pretty sure that no one will ever be able to pull it off as well as Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds himself is obviously fantastic as Wade Wilson, Deadpool, and as many mistakes as Fox has made over the years with the X-Men properties, and definitely with the Fantastic Four properties, they've really gotten things right with Deadpool, and then especially with Logan. It really just goes to show that R-rated or like higher-rated superhero, hero-related comic book movies can do very well if you just let it happen. Now, was Deadpool 2 as good as Deadpool 1? That's probably the question that most people want to know, and from off the top of my head, I'm gonna have to say no. I feel like Deadpool 1 was very special in the sense that while the trailers did set you up to expect what was gonna happen, I don't think anybody expected it to be as good as it was, as like to be handled as well as it was. That movie just came out literally like a wrecking ball, like Miley Cyrus on a damn wrecking ball. And it was great. And this movie is still very good. It has a lot of that comedy. It has very good delivery. The jokes are very spot on. Now, where I found there were some weaknesses in it was the story. While the underlying theme of the movie was good, and like kind of like the point A to point B, what links Deadpool and Cable together, and what that underlying story was really good. I thought that worked incredibly well. My bigger issue was just the stuff that happened between point A and point B. It got a little bit messy, to the sense that the movie actually felt longer than it was. It felt longer than Infinity War, but it was like a hell of a lot shorter than Infinity War. At least like decently shorter than Infinity War. That's like just something that I'm gonna put out there. Not that it was bad, not that it wasn't entertaining, not that I wouldn't gladly go see it again, but it did end up feeling longer because it just felt like every couple seconds there was something new or someone new popping up on screen, and you're just like, wait, where did this come, like why? Why is this happening? Obviously, like I mentioned, Ryan Reynolds is gonna be the highlight of this movie. He's the show, he's the draw, and as long as he's spot on, that's really all that matters. As long as he's strong, played well, has good delivery, a lot of the other stuff can be weaker, and it'll be okay at the end of the day. Josh Brolin did an amazing job as Cable. Obviously, we get a little bit of it in the trailers and it looks pretty good, but the interaction on screen was handled super well. I think sometimes when people see serious characters going into something so crazy and wacky like Deadpool, you worry, but he can still be serious, and it's the way that he responds to the crazy ass shit that Deadpool says that becomes funny, that becomes entertaining, and becomes comedy in and of itself. It's like, he doesn't have to be making jokes to be funny, he can just be funny with how he's reacting to Deadpool, and that is a great style of comedy. Like, not everything has to be a line, not everything has to be a delivery, so that was handled incredibly well. Other than Ryan Reynolds and Josh Brolin, Zazie Beetz did a fantastic job with her role as Domino. Definitely looking forward to seeing a lot more of her in the future. And Marina Baccarin, it was fantastic again as Vanessa. She always does a really great job, so I love seeing her on screen. Other than the story, I thought that the CG was kind of oddly bad in certain spots. Like, it seems like they put the entire budget, obviously, on the stuff that happens with Deadpool, and Cable's aren't. And that's where you want it to be. If something had to look good, I would want it to be that. But then you have, like, I felt like Colossus kind of looked pretty awkward through the entire thing. And then there was just like a couple of other moments where it's like, it seemed like they were adding like camera shakes to like mask the fact that the scenes might have not been the best effects-wise, but that's like small nitpicking. So overall, I'd say it was a very enjoyable movie. I'd probably give it a 7 to a 7.5. Some of the jokes went all the way up to like a 9 or a 10, but that story kind of detracts from it. But again, like a Deadpool does not need a strong story, because it's not really about the story. It's not about the things that happen getting you point A to point B. It's literally just about him, the stuff he says, the stuff he does, And while yes, people can say, well, that's just a weak movie filled with one-liners, that's not entirely how it feels. Like if you watch it, you'll understand more what I mean, because like I said, that underlying story, the reason why people are doing what they're doing, that's strong, that's good, that's solid. It's just like what pops up in between. And that's kind of what you expect from Deadpool, is nonsensical, random, stupid things with a lot of violence. So that's what we'll leave it at. I'm gonna say a 7 and probably like a 7.5 is probably a good place to put it. Probably not as good as the first one, just because, like I said, first one was just so surprising at the time. I haven't seen it in a while though, so maybe I'll watch it again and kind of compare it more freshly in my mind. So I'd say there's stuff that this one did better, but because the first one was just like, yo, I can't believe they did that on screen. I can't believe they did that. It doesn't give you that much of a shock factor because you know it's coming. There were a couple of jokes that maybe went too far at moments, but overall, very good. Now, there's also some really funny cameos, which I'm gonna mention now, so you can either skip off if you don't wanna know any of the random cameos, if you wanna try to catch them yourselves. We're gonna start with the ones that don't affect the story really, and then we'll move on to the ones that potentially are things that you would want kind of kept to be a secret. Some of them were kind of pretty obvious if you just paid attention to the trailers a little bit. Some of them aren't as obvious. So if we kind of go in, there is a Alan Tudyk cameo with one of these rednecks that Cable runs into, which is, he's a little bit more obvious, but if you don't pay attention, you will not notice that the other redneck is Matt Damon. Gotta love those surprise Matt Damon pop-ups. They're happening all over the place, and I love it. And then when we get into the X-Force, I think everybody noticed Terry Crews, obviously. And there's also Bill Skarsgård, who played Pennywise and It, and obviously a bunch of other stuff, but he is Zeitgeist. This one might be a little bit of a spoiler. This is where we're kind of getting into the stuff that maybe you don't want to know about, because it just kind of might be nice to notice and catch it on screen. Right now, Brad Pitt was Vanisher, which it was kind of hard to catch because he's really not on screen visibly for a large amount of time, and when he is, he's not, you don't really get a clear look at his face, but that was him. And then there's like the post-credit, actually no, then there's like the X-Men cameo in the mansion, when he's literally talking about like, what is up with his budget? Every time I'm here in this giant house, it's only you two. You're the only two people that are ever here. And then it just like pans, and the entire like Xavier's office is just filled with every single X-Men. Then you got post-credit scenes where you've got himself from Wolverine Origins, Hugh Jackman from Wolverine Origins, and then obviously Ryan Reynolds himself reading the Green Lantern script, which I thought was hilarious. I thought that was all super, super funny, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. Now we are getting into the like legit super spoilery stuff. So like I said, the story that leads you from point A to point B was solid. So you've got Deadpool. He's like an international hit guy. He's doing good things all around the world. And then he is back home on his own turf. And because he has to make his anniversary with Vanessa, he leaves before he actually kills the main bad guy. And unfortunately, those guys all follow him back to his apartment. He manages to take out everybody until the last second, and instead of killing him, it changes the direction of his gun. So when he shoots, it hits Vanessa, and then you're like, holy shit, we love this character. So it was sad to see her go after they have this nice emotional moment where she's like, we're gonna have a baby. We're gonna start trying for a baby. And he's like, yes. So you find out they're gonna have a family, and it's amazing, and then she dies, and it's so sad. He tries to like kill himself and stuff, and then obviously Colossus comes and saves him and tries to make an X-Men. And then they go to try to help a kid, and that is where the Cable line crosses over into, because that kid eventually grows up to kill Cable's family, which I thought that's a nice little way to tie that all together. But it was just the way you got there. There was just so much random crap. Like they really drove the X-Force. I was so excited for the X-Force to be this like awesome big part of it, and they all die within like 10 minutes, except Domino. Every single one of them. And in a way that was funny. I was like, holy crap. And then they just kind of go on past it as if it never happened. I also really liked showing the fact that there was like a reformation school for mutants that was actually just trying to torturing these poor kids just because of how they are, versus you have like the Xavier Institute, which is like trains people into using their powers responsibly and, making X-Men. Now I think the weird thing about this movie is that the fact that when he was dying, even though I was assuming that he wasn't gonna stay dead, that wasn't the saddest part. The sadder part was when he wasn't dead, was when Cable decides to go back in time, put the coin under his lapel so that when he shoots his gun, it doesn't kill Deadpool, it blocks the shot. and then he has to come back. So the whole movie has this really nice dynamic of him literally going through that Deadpool, which I thought was really funny, and seeing Vanessa in their apartment in this like dream-like heavenly place, and he just can't get to her because she's like, your heart's not in the right place. So you've got to, he goes back and he's like, I'm gonna save this kid because this is exactly what my life mission is now. I have to save this kid. And then at the end, he finally gets through. He walks through this threshold. He's undeadpooled, like he's like his healthy, perfect Ryan Reynolds self again. And then he kind of starts getting pulled back because Cable decides to go back in time and save him. That was the sad part, the part that he couldn't just stay with his dead wife, like the love of his life, and that was the saddest part to me. But I didn't think he was gonna stay dead. And then obviously in the end credit scenes, Negasonic War Teen fixes it, and then he just goes back in time and fixes all these random things. So he saves Vanessa, so presumably in the next one she'll be alive. He goes back, kills himself after he takes the role of Green Lantern, or kills Ryan Reynolds for taking the role of Green Lantern, which was a great fourth wall shattering moment. I thought it was great. I thought it was done really, really well. And then obviously he like shoots himself, and they just have like Hugh Jackman just standing there. That was all done super funny. And it's exactly the type of thing you expect a Deadpool movie to do, is literally making fun of every movie that's like, oh, time travel, that's how we fix it, which is literally what Days of Futures Past did. So it was nice. It was a nice touch. It was a really cool way to do it. And like I said, because you don't expect super strong story from something like Deadpool, it can get away with doing something as cheap as that in end credit scenes. So for the stuff I didn't like I said, the CG was pretty rocky. I think it might have been better if, it would have been really funny if they didn't even have Colossus in his full gear until like maybe at the end, and he just made a joke, something like, oh, so they used all the chrome on Cable's arm this time. Okay, if he was just looking normal the entire movie until he actually really needed to fight or something, I thought that would have been a lot better. But that's just nitpicking. I think that Negasonic War Teen could have been used more. She was really barely in it, honestly, but her girlfriend was hilarious. Like, she was like, hi Wade, and he was like, hi Yuki. That was great. I thought that was super funny. Juggernaut. I was really excited when I figured out that definitely whatever was being held at that prison was Juggernaut. And I just felt like it kind of felt flat for me. I don't know exactly how I would have suggested they make it better. Honestly, I don't really know what way they could have done to do that. But yeah, he just kind of came across as weak. Like, obviously it wasn't as bad as it was in The Last Stand, but still just kind of felt like a weak outing, and he kind of seemed awkward on screen too, but I just didn't care. I didn't care about that entire storyline. I didn't care about him. I don't even think he was really necessary, honestly, but I get it. I just think they could have used him better, and they probably could have used him more. TJ Miller's jokes really did not deliver well in my theater, and let me know if they did in yours. That's just something I noticed when I was watching it. Yeah, overall, I thought it was a good movie. It was a fun ride. I laughed. If you want a good action-packed laugh movie, go check it out. Obviously, if you're looking for something that has a super serious or super amazing, well thought out, perfect story, this is not gonna be that, but I think it's good. I'm kind of excited for future Deadpool movies just because they're fun. How he interacts in the environments and with the characters is what the movie's all about, and that's perfect. Great job, Ryan Reynolds. So that is gonna do it for this review. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like, let me know your thoughts down below. Subscribe if you're new. Hopefully this didn't get chopped up into 2 videos because I rambled on too much, but if it did, yeah, okay. Catch you all later.